But we do give shits. We give lots of shits, and unfortunately, this is becoming too much of a trend. We actually got to give a little bit of love to someone who passed. Last week was the logo, Jerry West himself. Unfortunately, this week, Willie Mays passed at the age of 93. Sol, you've got more information for us on that. Take lead.
Well, we want to honor him and his career, starting his career in the Negro Leagues with the Birmingham Black Barons and played for the New York/San Francisco Giants and the New York Mets in the majors. We spoke on our first episode about how the Negro League stats are finally being recognized. So now his full stats are recognized as being both a Negro League player and a Major League player. Center fielder, World Series winner in 54, 24-time All-Star, two-time NL MVP in 54 and 65, NL Rookie of the Year in 51, 12-time Golden Glove Award winner, inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1979, and earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2015. He did miss 266 games in the 1952 season because he was drafted by the U.S. Army for the Korean War. He's considered a five-tool player, and people consider him one of the best players ever behind Babe Ruth. If you look at all-time lists, he usually comes in at number 2. Rob Manfield stated, Thursday's game at historic Rickwood Field was designed to be a celebration of Willie Mays and his peers. With sadness in our hearts, it will now also serve as a national remembrance of an American who will forever remain on the short list of the most impactful individuals our great game has ever known. He also went on to say at the game, all of Major League Baseball is in mourning today as we are gathered at the very ballpark where a career and a legacy like no other began. Willie Mays took his all-around brilliance from the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro American League to the historic Giants franchise. From coast to coast in New York and San Francisco, Willie inspired a generation of players and fans as the game grew and truly earned its place as our national pastime. So throwing to Josh first, your thoughts on this legend?
I mean, he is baseball. Like when you look up, like you can bring up Willie Mays and everyone knows who it is. Even some like newborn be like, oh yeah, I know him, even though they can't even speak, but they'll know talk about Willie Mays. I mean, if he's known more for really his defense than he was his offense, but he was a five-tool player. I mean, 24-time All-Star. People don't even imagine playing the league 24 years, much less being All-Star for all of that. Obviously the over-the-head catch is what he's known for, but it's the inspiration of how many of African Americans that he inspired to play baseball instead of any other sport, especially that era. I mean, he inspired the Hank Aaron's. Obviously, Barry Bonds was his godson, I believe, and so you just have so many. You think of all the great African Americans to play the game, that from Willie Mays on, it's because of Willie Mays and how he respected the game, approached the game, and played the game, and was just badass at it. Number also on top of it, but I mean, he's up there at the top 5. With the Mantles. Ted Williams will probably be up there. Obviously, Josh Gibson now that he's finally being recognized as one of the best ones. So it stinks. I know we've just basically lost two literal legends each week. But it's not like they didn't live a hard-filled life, and their stories will live on forever.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, being a veteran, that's one of the big things that stands out. Like Pat Tillman, and others that not only just phenomenal athletes and just talents and people, but then serving as well is huge. It's almost something that we may be losing a little bit. I mean, unfortunately, the draft was very prevalent back in the day, but yeah, his service. And then, like you said, I mean, you think of baseball, you think of Willie Mays. Like that's why it's one of the first names that pop in your head. And honestly, like he's probably going to be like in the baseball history books or just sports history books for a long time. So people being born today will know who Willie Mays is, even if they didn't know him during the time that he was alive or played.